Hi, welcome to another episode of Lobdell Universe. Today, I have my good friend here, Elizabeth Gray. Now, I call her Liz, but she wants to be called Elizabeth. I'm going to try to remember that. That's always a problem for me. I've never quite understood that all the times we've talked to each other. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's going to be fun.
Now, this was her idea, and she came up with this idea of she wants to talk about some music. So this is my first music episode, music review episode. We'll see how it goes. We want to play the music in the background while we're recording, but we don't really know if we're even allowed to use that music. So you may not hear it while we talk about it, but we're not going to sit here and go, listen to this moment and see what it sounds like, and you're not going to be able to hear it. So that kind of defeats the purpose. So we're going to critique as best we can. And from what I understand, you want to talk about two different bands and two different albums. Is this correct?
This is correct. Now, one of my albums might be controversial.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. There is a reason why I'm asking all this. So first of all, since we're going to be talking about two different punk rock bands, really.
Basically, yeah.
They're both considered punk rock.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wanted to dress appropriately for the punk rock outfit. You know, it's a long story about this jacket, but this jacket is considered my punk rock jacket. I actually use this for the concrete industry this was how everybody learned about me. So quick little background.
Famous jacket.
It is.
Yes.
So quick little background is I went from being only known in Nashville to being known worldwide overnight.
Worldwide.
And it was because I had a party in Nashville while there was a conference going on here. This was my jacket that I wore. At the time, everything that was on it was actually some of the different sponsors that sponsored the work I did for the show. And then I changed it to this stuff for another meeting I had when I went to Sherwin-Williams to meet with them to try to do some work with them too. So I put stuff on there that was more about like the things that inspire people and the things that are important, like recognition and I forget, influence, credibility, things like that.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about that is when I first wore this, I also had spiked hair. I had bright blue spiked hair, which I'll show a picture when I'm editing this and everything. And it was a crazy moment. And everybody remembered my blue spiked hair. It was awesome. It worked. Everything went perfect.
Gotta stand out.
And then when I went to Sherwin-Williams, on the other hand, they were like, can you please take that off? And I wouldn't. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I'm talking to a multi-billion-dollar company. And I'm just an idiot, and it did not go well at all. The punk rock and a multi-billion-dollar company, not so cool.
Well, they missed out, not you. It was their loss.
Now, on top of that, the exciting part of it is the two bands that you picked are two of my favorites. Two of mine, I love talking about these guys, and it's really entertaining to have them playing in the background while I'm talking to you. Yes. It's so weird. But one of them is the Pixies.
Not John Mellencamp.
Yes. Which is this is a concert shirt I got from seeing them live at the Ryman in Nashville, Tennessee.
Very jealous.
At the same location, I also got to see the other band, which is Violent Femmes.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Like, that's heartbreaking.
So not only did I get to see Violent Femmes, but I have two autographed shirts.
That is so cool.
That have never been worn. And I knew she was going to go crazy. I've been hiding this the whole time, sitting over here just bunched up so she didn't know what they were. But can you believe
that is so awesome? That
I got
so
autographs cool. for the whole band. Nicole and I both did a shirt for each of us.
Oh, okay. Like, I would have always loved to see the Pixies, and I think I still have the opportunity. But the Violent Femmes, I've never seen them.
So here's a better, but even funnier. Well, and plus, don't forget, I also have the Violent Femmes
koozie.
I mean, we went all out. If yes. I'm not a fan, I don't know who is.
I knew that you liked the Pixies. I had no idea that you were a Violent Femmes. And that's like, Pixies are my number one. I don't know. Violent Femmes might be.
Okay. I've seen the Pixies 2 or 3 times now. Okay. At the Ryman. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, they're a great band. I loved every second of it. I'd probably go again.
Yeah.
Violent Femmes, on the other hand, sucked.
Oh.
Not the band.
Okay.
The concert.
Okay.
So, here was the issue. When we bought tickets to the Violent Femmes with, I forget the band that was opening up, some stupid English band from the 80s that did like 16 Candles or the Breakfast Club. They were like a band that made like the main songs in those movies.
Okay.
I forget their name. I want to say, I forget. They were terrible. So what we didn't know was, like, when we bought the tickets, it said Violent Femmes with so-and-so.
Yeah.
Well, so we went downtown, we're hanging out, and we're like, well, the first band we really don't care about, so we didn't rush in.
Was the first band the Violent Femmes?
Yes. We only got to see 3 songs.
That would have broke my heart.
3 songs. We got to see the end of the concert. We were so mad.
Yeah.
And then they switched to the other band, and they're terrible. Not only are they terrible, but the guy's a total freaking prick. And he's just like talking crap about America and not like, but I mean, like, you know, like, you guys don't even understand what I'm saying right now because he's talking in an English accent, and you don't even like. Well, why are you here singing to us then? If I think we don't care,
Right. Like,
you know.
and we have ears.
And what it was is they were both headliners, so they were swapping every concert, and we just didn't know that we got the opposite concert. That didn't say anything about that in any of our information.
I would have wrote a strongly worded email.
So I still need to go see the Violent Femmes,
Yes.
but I did get to meet them. I did get autographs
So how
from
did you
them.
get to meet them? That's so
Because
awesome.
they were kind enough since they were the first band.
So you like,
They
just,
sat
like, run
there.
back.
No, they sat up at the where you buy the shirts, and they
Yeah.
autographed them right there for
See,
you.
they're so cool, man.
I know, totally
Like,
cool. Said hi to them. You
Yeah.
know, did not get to meet the singer, but it was the other guys of the band. The
Yeah.
singer was the only one that wasn't there.
Oh,
But the other guys
Gordon.
were cool. You know, they weren't in the best of moods, but they were cool. They signed, no big deal. You know,
Yeah.
because they're talking 100. I mean, they got 1,000 people, 3,000 people coming through.
But that
it was cool.
still shows their fan focus, man. Like,
Yeah.
at this time, whenever that concert, these people don't have to do that.
No, they don't have to do that. What the other thing too is they had not performed in a while.
Yeah.
So to the same point, they did need to do that because how many new kids know about them anymore?
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of important for them to push that idea of getting their name out there again. And they were playing at the Ryman.
So, like, I really thought, we would initially talk about the Pixies first, but because you just said what you said, there's, like, 2 things about the Violent Femmes.
Well, then we got to switch to the Violent Femmes while you're talking.
Oh, okay.
So we have them in the background.
Don't tease me with a good time. So,
Go ahead.
Blister of the Sun.
Yeah.
This song, Gordon, why can I not come up with his last name? Lead singer has all the rights to, like, the lead singer wrote all Violent, like, the majority of Violent Femmes songs were written by the lead singer, Gordon. Why I don't say his last name right now, I can't tell you. So he gave Wendy's the rights to Blister of the Sun. Now, I like Blister of the Sun. I think it's a good song. It's a poppy song. It's fun to sing along with. You're on a road trip. You drive in. It's a great song, right?
Yeah.
It is not by any means one of my favorite Violent Femmes songs. I feel like it's an iconic song. I think it's an important song.
Right.
But, I think it's a gateway song. It's like marijuana of songs. It brings you into the better stuff, the harder stuff that.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. Okay, I know where you're going with that, but the problem with that is we are the generation that goes, well, once you hit it big, now you're. Everybody says the same thing about Green Day, where they're no longer cool anymore. Now they're mainstream.
Yeah.
That song made them mainstream.
Okay, yeah.
And so then we have that connotation to the fact that, well, now it's mainstream, now it's not as cool. The other songs are cool because they never hit mainstream.
But, okay, so, like, Brian Ritchie, the bassist of Violent Femmes, was really upset that Gordon sold this song to Wendy's.
That's stupid.
He was mad. And I think that was, like, maybe the 3rd breakup of Violent Femmes. And it's like, but to me, is it a poppy, radio-friendly, teen spirit song? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But is it saying some kid who has an ear, it's like, what is that? And then they find the Violent Femmes, which might lead them to the Pixies, which might lead them, down this beautiful musical journey.
Well, but the other thing about it, too, is when you think about the way that they made this song, you hear those drums in the background. He's not playing normal drums.
No.
He's playing with special,
Little wispies.
Yeah, the wisp drumsticks or whatever they call them. And that was a cool thing about the concert, too, is you walk in and you look at the stage and you're like, why is there a grill?
Yes, because they play on a grill. true.
And why is there a wash tub with a hole in it and a stick on it and things like that too? And why is there the, when you wash your clothes, you have the old school style before we had washing and dryers where they had to scrub it. And I'm looking at the whole set going, what the heck?
Yeah.
But they literally play all of those different ways and different unique things, and that's something that I thought was extremely cool about them. They're not your normal average band, nor are they a hack or a has-been or, how do I say it, a joke, because instead you see their true ability by playing instruments you don't expect. They don't play it and it sounds hokey. They play it and it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference. Not too many bands out there can do that. It's like talking about Les Claypool with Primus and going, how badass when he plays like a 6-string fretless bass, and he has all these different basses in a single string that he plays with a violin. They take these unusual instruments and unusual ways to make sound, and they make amazing sound out of it, not hokey sound out of it.
Yeah. So, and they just, to me, like they defy all. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Just helping you.
Like they push the envelope. So like Gordon, the lead singer, he actually is religious. So some of these songs that have like these religious.
You're fine. You keep talking. I'm making this easier so I can see you.
Perfect. These like religious undertones, or not even undertones, just like right in your face, like Jesus walking on the water. So the other two members, Brian Ritchie and the multiple drummers that they've gone through, were not necessarily religious. But Brian Ritchie was like, what's more punk rock than to play what you want to play than to cater to your audience? Because, when that Jesus comes, I think it's from Hollow Grounds, when that came out, they were like, what's this? This is horrible, And he's like, he apparently had a hard time getting into that, because he didn't want to sing about anything religious, because that's not his thing. But then he kind of said, you know what? I mean, this is punk. This is, I'm going to put it, this is what we're singing. And this is,
he also did like a country death song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not normal. None of their music was normal in any way, shape, or form.
My nephew, for theater class in high school, did a music video for that one. But so Gordon wrote that song in high school. And he did
That's
it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it was just because he's like, these folky songs are so depressing and dark, and that's where that one came from. That is a sing-along road trip song.
Absolutely.
I know all the words. I can sing it on the top of my head. I love the country death song.
Now, the one thing that you had said prior to this was that you love the album Added Up.
I do.
Which is not an album.
It's not. It's a collection, but it's I mean, you have to do no work. And that's the thing. It's I was thinking about this. I'm a CD book girl. That's the era that I came from. I mean, I was a cassette. I still
have all my cassettes and all my CDs.
So,
and there's a lot.
And there was a lot of CDs, but driving down the road, going on a road trip, hanging out with your friends in your car, and Violent Femmes is a hanging out with your friends in the car band. That's a back road, just hanging out, having a good time, listening to this goofy ass music. So, Added Up, I didn't have to switch albums. I didn't have to. It just had everything that was perfect there.
But see, that's part of my problem, because as much as I like greatest hits too, I'm not gonna lie, it does make it easier for you to get into a band because then you hear their best of the best. But it's the B-side songs that are the greatest sometimes with bands, and maybe not necessarily with Violent Femmes. I'm not arguing with you. I like the album too. I think I listen to this Permanent Record one is the one I listen to all the time. That's the one I have. That's all greatest hits too.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot more about them from listening to that one because I didn't get into all their albums.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I never think about a greatest hits album as an amazing album. To your same point too, I have Santana's greatest hits on record. I didn't buy a Santana album for record. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. I was like, man, this is so awesome. And then I put it on and I'm listening to it and I went, wait, this is a greatest hits. What did I think? Why? You don't buy a greatest hits album on record. It's not really made for the record. It's not made that way. You got to hear it all. You got to hear what they were trying to do at that moment.
Right. Okay.
And one of the things for me is I relate it to my paintings. Okay.
Okay.
When I paint a series of paintings, I treat them like I'm making a CD.
Okay.
And every painting is a new song.
Is it like telling a story? Do you feel like an album is going to be a collective story? Okay.
there is a story behind it all that nobody else knows. I don't tell anybody this.
See? Okay.
But that's how I view everything too. So there is a reason why these songs are on this album. Now, there are certain bands out there that don't care about that and they're just making music. And I don't know if Violent Femmes is one of those people or not. You know, then you turn around and you look at Floyd. Well, no, that's a concept album. It's all from beginning to end for a reason. It all flows together. There's always a sense to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Violent Femmes does that, but I treat everybody's albums as in this is what they want to tell you right here, right now.
Yeah.
And it's important to hear it right here, right now to understand their point of view and their mindset at that moment.
Okay.
And I love that.
I see that. And I know for Violent Femmes, at least, so a lot of his songs were written prior to like this band even coming together, right?
That's crazy.
Well, like, so Gordon was the writer. And so like he brought some songs, and then Violent Femmes, the first album, and then Hell Grounds, the second album. They were all written together, but they set the Violent Femmes self-titled album out first because it was a little bit more poppy to kind of get people like, hey. And then they released Hell Grounds. And so that's like, it was kind of like, let me get you a taste. Let me get you hooked. Again, gateway drug. Violent Femmes is a gateway drug. They're a gateway drug into indie, punk rock, surfer rock, like
to indie. Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with that is it's a make it or break it. It's a love or hate in a positive way. The one thing about Violent Femmes is there's no gray area.
Yeah.
You can't just tolerate them.
No, you either have to like them or
I say the same thing about Primus all the time when I'm talking to my music friends.
And I love it.
It's a love hate 100%.
Yeah.
There is no in between. And I love that too, because to the same point, we wouldn't be talking about it if it was gray area.
Right.
You know,
right.
I have the same problem with my artwork, for example, too. I have to make sure, I don't care if you have a positive or a negative reaction. I hate when you don't have a reaction.
Right.
That's the biggest insult you can give to me is,
yeah, exactly.
Don't care.
It's fine. It's whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just here with my friends. Don't care. I want you to care. I want you to go, this is horrible. I don't get it at all. It's driving me crazy, because then you start talking about it and you dig in and you're like, why can I not understand this?
Yeah.
You know, I love taking people to an art museum and seeing their reactions when we get into the modern art. It's easy to understand the Renaissance. It's easy to understand, you know, all these great old school paintings. But when you get into modern art, it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then that's when you really find what they're really like.
Yeah, exactly.
And these guys are modern art without a question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love them. So, in my research today, because I am a professional YouTube podcaster, I found out that Gnarls Barkley did a cover of God Daddy God. He did the cover after Violent Femmes did a cover of Crazy, which are two songs that I really like. I mean, like,
I didn't know they did Crazy. I know he did that. I didn't know he did Crazy.
So, yeah, they did Crazy. They did Crazy. He did God Daddy God.
You can tell when someone's new when they hit the mic.
I'm such a novice. So, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hate covers. I hate covers. I hate covers. But I wanted to hear these. And I was like, this is going to be kind of cool, right? Because I really like both these artists. I love Dirty South. Like, I love the Dungeon Crew. Like, this Atlanta. Like, that's, if I'm going to listen to rap, that's the rap that I'm in at all times. So I was really excited. I couldn't do either one of the songs. Like, and I don't know if it's because both songs, like, I really enjoy both songs, but their voices, it just, like, I could hear Crazy, but I was like, this isn't right, you know?
The interesting thing to those moments are they trying to do it their way, or are they trying to reproduce the song?
Yeah.
And if they don't do it their way, sometimes it's an epic fail.
I really feel like they were really trying. Like, Gnarls Barkley, God Daddy God, like, I mean, it was a funky hip-hop beat, like, but it was still the song, but it's his voice. His voice doesn't belong to that song. And Gordon's voice doesn't belong to Crazy. Like, those two are very distinct in how they sound, I think. And when they did, it just was like, But if you haven't listened to either one, you said you listened to one, give it a try. Let me know, because I am a hater when it comes to covers. I think I like so much.
I typically am too.
Yeah. So I find
To me, it's like, I know they're trying to show respect to the other artist, but to me, it is they're running out of ideas.
Or they're running
It's the same thing with all the movies where they recreate the same movie
Yep.
all the time. It's because they have no other ideas, and it does downplay their ability to their credibility. To me, it downplays their credibility because they're going out of their way to show off somebody else's work instead of their own.
Right.
And I don't get it either.
Or it's kind of like it can be played into an ego. Like, this is good, but look how I do it. And I put so much importance and tie so much emotion into songs. Like, just single songs, not even bands, but like, and to hear someone, like, in what I would say desecrate something that meant so much to me. Like, I don't think Teen Spirit is like a world-renowned song, but that song, like, I know what it meant to Nirvana. I know how that kind of played out, and I have my own feelings towards it. And then to hear all these covers, even though it's not like Nirvana's best song by any means, it's still like, ugh, I can't. Like,
No, I completely agree, because I heard the one recently that was a replay of that one, and it's
so
awful.
bad. It's so bad.
And it's funny you say that, because literally while you were talking, I thought about the fact that I would want to do this again to Nirvana's Nevermind, because I have such a history with that album.
Yeah.
The stories I have of that moment in time are amazing, specifically that song. That changed the history of music in 24 hours.
Yeah, so
It 100% did, and it blew my mind when it happened, because I am in that moment. I am that age. I was a junior or senior in high school.
you were hearing
It blew
and feel, yeah.
our minds, and I was the first one in my tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, to listen to that song on 120 minutes late at night one night, and go in the next day to school and go, holy shit, did you hear this song? And they're all like, what are you talking about?
They're like, just
the next
wait.
day, that same day, I went to the store right away and I bought the album, and I came back and I showed everybody. I was like, what is with this album with this baby on it? This is insane. You wouldn't believe it. And boom, who thinks about 80s anymore? Hair bands are gone. The history, Michael Jackson's career is practically over.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about all the bands that they crushed in one night,
Yeah.
nobody cared. My funniest point to that too is back to, and I should save this for that if we do that, but
We should totally do that.
but
Leave it in
my
the
favorite
comments.
story is 6 months before that album came out, I went to see Steelheart live.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever listened to Steelheart again since that moment.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And if you've never heard Steelheart, you don't, just ignore
Don't.
it. Just ignore it.
Go-
It's
go about your day.
we didn't know any better. We didn't know anything.
We had what we had, okay?
And what's sad is Violent Femmes was out at that moment, but wasn't the same. They were new at that moment, and I wasn't listening to them. There was a lot of bands that were starting to come, but Nirvana really just pushed that envelope so that these guys were going to get noticed instantaneously, and it changed the world.
When I was reading, there was a song that Nirvana did. I don't remember what it was, but they were like, oh, we're going to get a lot of shit because this sounds like the Pixies. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but like the Pixies and Nirvana would Nirvana would borrow bandmates and kind of go back and forth or whatever. But I don't know, like I haven't done much research on that, but I feel like the Pixies were an influence for Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Definitely, I'd say Chris and Dave, they had some kind of...
Well, it was all
Well,
punk
no,
rock
they-
all the time.
yeah.
I mean, to the same point too, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people badmouth Green Day. I'm sorry, but they're one of the best punk rock bands of all time. You can't deny that they have produced hit after hit after hit. If you go back, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but if you go back and you listen to the Ramones, the greatest hits of the Ramones, okay? It is
greatest
nothing but
hits.
pop music.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in a bad way. Ramones are freaking awesome. But if you listen to that A Greatest Hits album, you'll sit there and go, this is all just pop music.
Yeah.
Well, that's all Nirvana was trying to do too. What's wrong with that? That's all Green Day's trying to do too.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
And that's-
Because they made it a Broadway play, because they
But
hit it
Violent
big.
Femmes, that's what they did. They put their poppiest music out first
Sure.
to catch you.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, no fault to Nirvana, but Nirvana knew, and they said Teen Spirit, this isn't we're grabbing you.
Yeah.
We're the gateway. We're
Yeah.
bringing you in. You're gonna love the ride. It's gonna be fun.
And I love the way they play off lyrics. Anyway.
But speaking of Teen Spirit, great song, whatever. I love it. There's so many other great covers that they could have done if we're going to cover Nirvana.
No, because that I don't know if anybody could cover them.
Any other?
I don't think it
other than
matters which one you try, you're going to
Just fail. Yeah.
because there's no way to recreate that. That's like trying to do Wizard of Oz all over again. It'll never be the same.
It'll never be the same.
It'll never be the same. There is no way to do that again and make it better. It'll never happen.
So you're a Nirvana fan. Like, my walls, Kurt Cobain in high school.
Yeah,
Just all of them.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, not only do we have so much to talk about when it comes to just these kind of bands, but also the concerts too.
Yeah.
I saw Nirvana.
Oh.
Okay? I'm one of the rare people that gets to say...
You saw Nirvana.
Because there's only, a 5-8 year period of their career.
Going, yeah.
I got to see them live, and it's still to this day one of my favorite concerts of all time. Not because it was the best concert, the best acoustics, or the best musical, or the best guitar, or the best drum, or anything like that. It was the sound, the experience, the crowd, the moment, the whole entourage, the whole thing.
Yep.
I've almost never body surfed in my life, and I body surfed the entire concert.
Yeah.
So, again, we'll do this again, but quick story. I can't stop talking about it because it was so crazy. I love talking about my concerts too that I can remember. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember this. I was 145 pounds in college. Okay. Yeah. And I was in the wrestling team.
Okay.
And I was there with 185 pounder, 200 pound, like bigger guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, just muscly, just, awesome guy, loved guy. And so he just turned himself into a ladder, and I would climb up, jump on top of everybody, go all the way to the front, fall down, run back around, climb back up, float across the top of everybody. And I'm sitting and I'm getting to the point where I'm literally laying on top of these people, and Cobain is right there in front of me, and I'm like, dude, and I fall off and I run back around and I do it again. Like to have that experience to the same point, like a year or two later, I go to Savannah, Georgia, and White Zombie is playing.
Oh God!
And I go to get to see White Zombie, and I'm like so excited. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And I'm thinking in my head of the last concert I went to, which was Nirvana. They are not comparable at all. And I'm not saying bad. Like the concert was awesome. I got my ass kicked 30 seconds into the first song.
It's a different vibe.
It's a completely different vibe. And my brain is like, I'm going to body surf again. It was so bad that I had to get back to the back and just enjoy the ride and enjoy the moment. A great concert. I loved it. But I was not aware of you can't just body surf every concert you feel like going to. That's not how this works. And that was my first experience understanding that.
There you go. We all have our learning moments, right? Get out there, body surf, accidentally end up in the middle of a mosh pit. It happens,
Done that many times and filmed a ton of it. I have so much film of mosh pits. It's not even,
that's
it's
awesome.
so insane.
We should do a compilation. Mosh pit compilation. Rick's mosh pit compilation.
I have so much film.
I like it. So we'll go back to our original bands. We don't
We're
sidetrack
bouncing,
at all.
but it's okay.
Not at all. So Green Day, I love them. The only problem I have is stop singing your English accent. I hate the British accent sounds.
I think it's hilarious.
Oh, drives me nuts.
I even think that it's hilarious to the crazy point of that is they made instead of making a triple album, they made 3 albums back to back in the same year, and it was Uno, Dos, Tre.
Trey.
Not Trace, Trey.
Trey. We're just
The
mess
humor.
with you. Yeah.
I disagree. The humor is just hilarious.
I love someone that can go out there and just fuck with you. That's why I like Bloodhounding. They're just out there just doing their own thing.
And the funny thing to the Green Day too is the concert. Again, back to the concerts. Never thought I would care to go see them in concert. High respect for their work, but there's nothing great solo, great guitar, great drum, great anything. They're just a good pop punk band. Mm-hmm. But they were at a festival, so I was like, okay, great. I get to see them. Not that excited about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake. Well, no, I was pretty far up. Actually, I have a great video of that too. One of the best concerts I've ever been to. Because, again, not about the great guitar, just same thing with Nirvana. It's not about all the great moments. It's the energy and the way that they invite the band into the audience into their world. You're engaged. You're part of the show. They're standing there partying, or they're jamming out, and then he stops and he gets this guy up on stage, and then he looks at the guys in the bottom, because back 10, 15 years ago, it was a lot harder for all the media, so they had to be in a certain area and photographing and everything. Yeah. So he literally looks down at the media and he's like, I need you to put that down. Your camera, like all of you, put it down, and go. And the guy runs out and dives right into the media
That's so awesome.
And they have to catch them and everything.
Yeah.
Who does that? They brought a kid up on
Great.
stage. They brought another guy up to sing a song with them. You know, it was just, you were engaged.
Back then, y'all.
A whole different world.
So good. So good.
So anyway, I told you I got crazy concert stories.
We
but
should have a concert conversation. My concerts
we are right now.
are not, like, okay. My most memorable and absolute life-changing, just best concert ever was seeing Tom Petty. Like, that would
be a good one.
Yeah.
Nicole would be jealous of that. Don't tell her.
saw him at Starwood. That's what even makes it better. Anyone in Nashville knows. We all have a spot in our heart for Starwood.
I do. I really miss it, especially when I live less than a mile, barely a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
I could hear it from here if it was playing right now.
Why in the world did they ever do that? I don't know. I wasn't part of the planning commission, so.
Yeah, renovations. They weren't willing to do. They need to bring it back.
They do.
All right, so we talked about Violent Femmes.
We did. So should we transition?
We should because you know I didn't wear a Pixies shirt
Just not
instead
to
of a
talk about
Violent Femmes
Pixies.
autograph shirt. I wore it for a reason. Pixies is my friends. They're the best. I'm going to switch the music back to them too. Speaking of, while you talk.
If we continue this, you will find out that every band I talk about is my absolute 100% favorite band in the world.
Of course.
Nirvana is my absolute 100% favorite. It's the best band in the world.
Well, okay.
Femmes,
To that same
Pixies.
point, before we go further, let's clarify that. Let's really go down a rabbit hole for a second. What's your top 5 bands?
Oh.
Can you make a top 5 bands right here, right now? I know I can easily.
You can easily?
Easily. I can do a top 10 fairly easy, but the top 5 is always in the back of my head, never an issue.
So it's so hard for me because it's like most like what I need to listen to, what I need to just hear, you know, like it's all over the place. But Pixies.
No, I mean you have
Violent
to think about
Femmes.
if you were stranded on an island and you only had 5 bands to pick from, what would they be?
Pixies, Violent Femmes, Nirvana, Glass Animals, which is a newer band.
Yeah.
Like, give me some slack. You know, I really love them though. Like, they're like, hey, but they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these guys. So, like, you know, I give homage where homage is. And then, like, I don't know, like, Bloodhound Gang, like, that's what I go to all the time. Like, it's like
none of those would
goofy.
make even my top 15.
Pixies would not
Might make the top 10.
Let me hear your top 5. Let me judge you.
I'm so far off, it's not even funny.
Let's hear.
Like I'm in a whole nother world.
See, but I break it down like classic rock. Like you can't give me like it's too hard. Scratch that list. Edit this out.
This should be in the back of your head at all times because it's your go-to. It should be your automatic go-to.
I listened to "Hey" by Pixies.
Oh,
like,
such a great song.
Yeah, like Cactus. Like if I just need to listen to something, it's going to be
and
Pixies.
this is playing the same songs again, so we're gonna have to skip. Not that they're even listening to it, but I gotta.
If you know,
get
and
to where we
sometimes if
were
you see me
earlier.
move, it's just I'm catching the
Yeah,
groove.
yeah,
if you get to hear it, you get to hear it. If you don't, you just get to see me possibly
some
worried that
great-
I'm having a stroke.
Okay. Easy for me, the top 5.
Okay.
Number 1 is Pink Floyd. There's nothing better.
Okay.
There's no way to top it. There's no way.
Okay.
The guys went to architect school and art school. Like they're in a league of their own when it comes to the ensemble, the quality of the music, the concept albums, the amount of albums, the everything. There's nothing comparable to the quality. The first time hi-fi or surround sound started was with them and with bands like that at that moment. You know, the first time that they put speakers in the back of the audience to have that surround sound, it's the first time it ever happened was during that moment.
Okay.
So it's a game changer to the quality of music at that point. There's nothing ever like it ever since. There's nothing comparable to it.
Okay.
Number 2 is Primus.
Primus. Okay.
Again, another band where there's nothing like them. They're so unique. It's insane.
Yes. They're
And
amazing.
3 people, best drummer of all time for me. Number 1 best drummer, or number 1, number 2 best drummer of all time without a question.
What about Def Leppard? He only had one arm.
No, and a great guitarist. The guitarist is underrated 100% because he's overshadowed by the greatest bassist of all time and one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Yep.
I mean, but the
The
bassist,
goat.
of course,
Yeah.
without a question, so unique, so different, and their lyrics are hilarious.
Oh, they're great. They're one of the best. Like,
There's so much of like a
but that, like,
redneck kind of hillbilly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so bizarre. His
What is it?
storytelling is unbelievable.
What? It's not rockabilly. What is it? It's I can't remember that other band. That's like just that hillbilly hick, pop. The hick. It's just good. I love it. Like
Yeah.
it's
So I can't get over their ability. When you get into the nook and cranny of the little details of that band,
when you
get blown away.
Yeah, when you could have that type of talent on the instrument and then have those lyrics on top of it, it's like you're like, can I just sit down and like pick through your brain? Like, where did this come from? Like Primus, I feel like they're just in a league of their own.
Yes.
They'll never be respected for what they are.
No. Never.
But they're so immensely talented.
And there's that love-hate like we were talking about before. And I have so many friends that are musicians that are like, yeah, I totally respect
They're goofy,
them. I
they're
100%
stupid.
Respect them, but I don't care. They annoy the crap out of me. Yes, I hear the quality of the instruments. Yes, they're amazing.
Yeah, that
but I don't
bass.
care. And number 3 is Rage Against the Machine.
Really? Okay.
100%.
See, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I can't compare because I'm like, I love Rage. I love Primus. Pink Floyd's good. I like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I get that.
It's so
Yeah,
good. It's
I had a
great.
feeling you were going to think of that. I'm sorry, but I also have to explain my world too when it comes to that. Like it's all about the paintings for me.
Yeah.
Everything I listen to.
And they
is,
are
is-
very systematic in what they do.
Yes.
Like, so there's not a misbeat or anything. Like, everything.
Yes. Everything, every little detail. Like even to the point that when they did The Wall, they only did like 5 concerts or whatever. David Gilmour, the guitarist, was also the stage manager for it. So while he's out there playing lead guitar, he's doing over 60 different telling people different moments to change song, to change this sound, to have this fly by, to have this fly through, he is in charge of the entire thing while he's out there playing the greatest solos of all time.
Yeah.
All at the same time. It was so overwhelming for him to
Yeah.
pull that off. It's amazing that they even did it, let alone they did it only like 5 or 10 times. Like there was only a few.
Yeah.
When Roger Waters did it by himself, he didn't have to worry about that.
Great.
Because they had the money and they had this other, they had everybody there to do it all.
Right.
He just had to show up and do his thing in a good way, not in a negative, in a good way. It was an amazing concert. But who can do that? I mean, name another band that's even capable of handling something like that.
That's musical genius.
It
you
is.
know? And it's tortured.
Yes.
Because he couldn't put on a whole bunch of shows and like give this to the masses.
Let
because
alone
it's,
he's fighting
it's his
with
art.
Let alone he's fighting with Roger Waters the entire time too, and they hate each other and all that kind of controversy that's going on all at the same time.
See, that's another thing I thought about today. Like, I was like, everyone talks about how girls are so catty, but put 4 guys in a band.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Without a question.
You're going to have some issues.
Give them a bunch of money, it's going downhill quick.
Give them everything they want, and they're still not going to be happy.
All right, number 4,
Okay.
Radiohead.
Good. Yeah.
Radiohead is
That's a great
my
one.
new version of Pink Floyd.
Okay.
It is the closest, back to the point I made where there's nothing like it. It is the closest in our generation to be anywhere near the conversation of Pink Floyd.
So I'm going to let you finish out your list, but I will let you know. We'll circle back. My problem with Pink Floyd and Radiohead is actually like it's the same.
I
So,
can see that.
yeah.
I assumed that. I was waiting for that moment. When you downplayed one, I was like, what is she going to do about the other? They're unbelievable and they're game changing. What they've done musically, and to have one album that is more synthesized and then one album that is more raw, and the ability to roll with these changes that they made. Same thing with Floyd. There is not a comparable album from one to another with Floyd either. Every single one is so incredibly different that you can't sit there and go, they sound the same over and over.
Yeah.
And there's
You're-
so
you're
many
not
bands
getting
out
a
there.
Sublime feel
No,
from
there's
the
so many
vibe.
bands out there that after the 3 albums, you're like, it's the same thing all the time. I'm bored now. I don't care anymore.
See, and that's I have bands that I absolutely love for that reason, like Sublime. You're going to listen to 7 different albums. You're going to get that same feel. But sometimes I need that. I like Radiohead. I so many of their songs speak to my soul. Like they're such great musicians. I don't like Radiohead fans. I don't really like
So that means you don't like me.
No, not you.
You
You're
heard
not.
it.
You heard it
You
here
all heard
first.
it. She hates me, but she wants to sit in the same room as me.
I do. It's weird. It's a conflicting feeling. I don't know what's going on here. No, like Pink Floyd fans, Radiohead fans, Tool fans. Oh,
That's number 5.
oh no. Maybe I don't like you. What's going on?
100%. That is number 5 for
I
the
love
same
Tool.
exact reason.
I love Maynard. Like, I love, I love these bands. You get some pretentious ass, like,
Well,
oh,
because
you listen to this because, like, all I have on play is Tool. And just,
yeah,
like, calm down.
There's a reason for it. So here's the thing. So first of all, it's a war for me about the greatest drummer of all time between Danny Carey from Tool and Herb Alexander from Primus.
Okay.
I can go either way. And I've even saw a video where the two play together, and I was just, just oh my god, the greatest of all time are playing together. To me, there's nothing better in drums in the history of drums than the two of them.
Yeah.
Period. Let alone they can do it together, and they're at the same generation, the same moment in time.
Just doing it.
Any other time in history, they would be the greatest, but instead they're at the same moment, and it's a battle because of it to me.
And there's a rip in the
And of
time.
course, Tool is a bigger band, so it's really not a battle. And Herb quit Primus for a while, and then came back, and it's been amazing to see him back again.
Yeah.
And they call him the Neil Peart of punk rock, of our generation. But I know Neil Peart is amazing. I completely agree. He's amazing, but Rush is not on any of my lists because they annoy the hell out of me. I love the drums, but the singer is just, I can't stand the voice.
Yeah.
Love the music, can't stand the voice.
Yeah.
If they never sang, I'd be happy.
Just dig the vibe. Just dig that.
Great band.
The
I mean, all
good.
the same thing with Primus. Everybody says Primus is Rush on crack. That's what they are. It's very similar. It's very similar style, but it isn't because it has that crack, that meth kind of attitude to it.
I'll have to go back and look and listen to some Rush and give an opinion next time because that's a hard one to swallow. Primus is Rush on crack.
It is. Always has been.
Interesting.
They even last year, we went to see Primus tribute to Rush.
Oh, that's cool.
Because when Neil Peart died, they set up that
They
right
did
away.
that? Okay.
And then COVID happened, so they couldn't perform it.
Oh.
So 2 years later, they did it finally, and we went to see it right away, and it was epic.
Yeah.
And they did it right they made Rush look great. Nothing negative about it. They did a great job of a tribute
good.
to Rush. And it's not even an album I would ever have listened to about Rush at all. We've never given two shits about it. But since Primus did it, I loved it.
Perfect.
And I did not go back, and I tried to listen to the Rush album once, but I couldn't do it.
See, I like a good tribute. I don't like a cover. I don't want you to put your spin on it. I don't want to hear your take.
It was
I
pure.
like a tribute.
Correct.
I could dig a tribute.
Correct.
I could listen to like a big name band, give me a good tribute to another big name band, and be happy and pleasant with it.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, so that's cool. I like it.
So there you go. That's my top. But
That's your
Tool,
top 5, man.
Tool is a tough one because I think they are some of the.
See, so like I want to take off Bloodhound Gang. I feel embarrassed by that, and I want to add 9 Inch Nails. Like, so you're Tool. Like, I
Yes,
like Tool, but
that's in
not
the
if
top
I'm
10.
going to have to like look between Tool and 9 Inch Nails. It's Trent's.
I think the
winning.
reason why 9 Inch Nails dropped off the top 5 is because I haven't seen them in a while.
Oh,
or
okay.
a new album that I've liked in a while. They kind of
See, I'm
started to
an
do a little.
old music girl. Like I told you, Glass Animals. I listen to that like religiously. It's ridiculous. I see the error in my way, but I love them. Like when I did my Spotify thing, like the lead singer, talked to me because I like listened to him the most out of like. I was like, I don't know. You were one of the top listeners. I was like, that's embarrassing. Oh, okay, but I don't really listen to anything new. So like I will put on repeat songs that I've heard years and years and be just completely content and happy. So 9 Inch Nails not putting out anything new doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me, but that's why I've kind of forgotten about them a little bit. I go in waves with 9 Inch Nails. Their last album or two were okay. They made like the thing is Trent Reznor has gotten in so much into making soundtracks for movies that his music has started to become more of a soundtrack.
So yeah, like
and not
scory
in a good way.
rather than
it is. It's a little drawn out and a little mellow and a little not just creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And it's not creepy in a good way because it's very creepy music. But I will say again, back to the concert side of all of this, I have seen 9 Inch Nails at least 3 times. I don't remember if it's been a 4th.
My concert list to him is embarrassing.
But at least 3 times. I want to say 4 times. I'm going to say 4 times. I think I've seen him at Bridgestone twice. And I've seen him at Lollapalooza twice. I'm pretty sure I've seen him 4 times. And even the last time we saw it, Nicole was like, I'm good. I don't need to see him again. I've seen him enough. And I'm like, there's no way. Because I will tell you, I would put them up there number 2 greatest concert of all time. greatest production, greatest everything.
Yeah.
He puts on such an amazing show.
I feel like he's a tortured genius too, though.
Yeah,
I feel that.
And it's not just the music; it's the whole production. You know, you go back to the Green Day thing, and it's just about the raw of the experience. You know, some of these bands, it's about the music. You know, you go to see the Grateful Dead, and it's about the 25-minute long song. You go to see Nine Inch Nails, and it's about the whole production, the experience. The visuals are unbelievable. There is nothing comparable to their concert in any way, shape, or form, and it's not synthesized. There's a whole band playing.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how they put that all together.
See, like, so when I was, like, looking into Violent Femmes today, I was reading this one article on the flood. And it was when their most recent comeback together, and, like, their newest album that they had released. And I had not listened to them. I honestly, if we didn't do this today, I would not have listened to it because I don't need anything new in my life. Like, I love these bands. I love these songs. They have so much meaning and they're so important to me that I don't want to hear anything else. Like, I'm cool. I'm good to sit where I sit. But that's me.
That's hard. That's hard because that's like the same thing with Sirius XM. I'll listen to Lithium all day. I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
And I need to move on. I need to grow with times. We have to find something that's now that we can relate to, like your Glass Animals. That's now.
Oh, it is. It's so good.
You know, and I struggle. But when I find a band, I go all in. You know, I do.
Me too. But I stop at a certain point. So this article had they had the video and everything, and it's called "I Am Nothing." And I listened to this song, and I was like, "Damn it, that's a good Violent Femmes song." And it's a new song, and now I saw the error in my ways, I guess is what I'm saying, is that, like, I was like, maybe, because I feel like I've been burnt in the past, where, like, bands have come back, and they're like, here's our newest album, and I'm so excited, and it's shit, and you're like...
I got the perfect one for you, who has made a comeback of shit.
Shit.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smell. Yes, see, that breaks my heart because they were so important.
That rock opera is so god-awful. You can't tell one song to the next. It all sounds the same. Yeah. The album before was CERN or something like that. That was more of like a disco. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
My, like, childhood. It's like, it's taking, like, when I hear some... this is completely off the subject. Have you ever seen Precious Gems or Cut Gems by...
Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler is, like, his movies of the past are, like, so important to me. And he said a line in that movie that just ruined my whole world. And I was like, Adam Sandler's dead to me. You know, like, I can't see these people that I hold in such high regard do things or say things or, like, fail or not, you know.
I'm confused because, to me, Uncut Gems, he should have won the Oscar for.
He said... I don't know how much I can say on here, so I guess you could edit it out, but he's like, oh my God, I'm coming. And to hear Adam Sandler in that situation say that, like, this
it doesn't bother me.
Oh, but to me, like, I was like, that's Billy Madison, that's Happy Gilmore, that's not this guy. Like, I can watch movies like that. I'm totally fine with movies like that.
Yeah, but he swore all the time.
That's fine. Adam's always been goofy and, like, you know, kid-like and friendly and fun, and it was just always just this ridiculous, over-the-top comedy, and then that, and I was like...
Yeah, that's not a comedy.
No.
No, he's trying to get serious for the first time, yes.
Well, he did Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
But that one I didn't like...
I mean, even 50 First Dates...
That's one of my
comedy,
favorites.
But it's still serious.
Yeah. I love 50 First Dates. Like... But that's where I have a problem, is listening, because I feel I don't want to be let down by people that I've put in such high regard. And I just want to keep them where they're at in my head.
And that's what bothers me, like I was saying about Smashing Pumpkins, because now I'm only stuck in the past. I'll never move forward. I'm going to go see them again. I went to see them this year, and I'm going to go see them now we're in 2024, but I saw them in 23, and I'm going to see them in 24.
Yeah.
I was, the crazy thing, too.
Okay.
Yeah, we already bought the tickets. I was supposed to see them in 20, and I bought, this is crazy, in the month of February, yeah. So I did my World of Concrete thing I'm about to do in January. I come back in February, and concert after concert after concert comes up for the year, and I'm drooling. But I can only spend so much money in 1 month on concerts. I mean, let's be realistic here.
They're so expensive now.
I had a choice between Pearl Jam,
okay,
Smashing Pumpkins,
okay,
and another Roger Waters concert.
Okay.
Again. And it's really hard for me to not say yes to Roger Waters, but I had seen him twice already, and I was like, there's no way it's going to be better. I don't want to ruin it for me, right?
Right.
So I buy the Pearl Jam and I buy the Smashing Pumpkins, and they're both supposed to be in April. I buy them in February. They're supposed to be in April. One of the biggest problems I have is the one I just bought is not until August. I don't like buying concerts a year in advance and then having to remember I bought freaking concert tickets. So what better time is to get Pearl Jam and Smashing on their comeback, coming back after years of not playing, right at the same time, super fast, week apart, and then COVID happens and I don't get to see either one.
No.
Smashing cancels theirs, and they were going to be at the Ryman.
Oh, that would have been cool.
At the Ryman.
That would have been cool, yeah.
And Pearl Jam was at Bridgestone and everything like that. So I go, and I don't get to go see either one of them.
Wait, Smashing, who's at Bridgestone?
Pearl Jam was.
Okay, I was about to say, because I was like, Pearl Jam's not at Bridgestone?
Yeah, no, not only that, but when we did see, so we did finally get to see Pearl Jam. We kept the tickets. They never canceled the show.
Good. They're
just
good
postponed.
guys. Yeah.
Smashing canceled it.
Yeah.
And by the time COVID was over, Smashing had been big again, and the next thing, they're at Bridgestone. And I never get to see that moment in Ryman. I mean, I was freaking out that I was going to see Smashing Pumpkins at
Ryman.
No, the concert was great. I still will always go see them.
Yeah.
Highly respect them and want to see them. I just don't give a shit about their new music at all.
I don't care about it.
So, August this last year, 2023, it was a year. Yeah, I think it was August, October, maybe it was October. Tickets come on sale for who's the headliner? Oh, Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, and Rancid.
Oh, that would be a good one.
All three in one night? Yes.
Yeah.
Sold, no problem whatsoever.
Right.
Problem is, it's not until August 30th.
I
just can't. It drives me. But I bought them. I had to do it. I'm hoping Smashing is not going to do their rock opera the entire time. If they do, I'm just gonna ruin it for me.
Oh.
But it is what it is. But yeah, I couldn't resist because I'm talking Green Day and them and Rancid.
That'd
and I
be
just
so
saw
cool.
Rancid a couple months ago at the festival I went to in Louisville.
Yeah.
Nicole was like, I didn't realize these were all their songs. So we're super excited about seeing Rancid again.
That's awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
See, I transitioned. I mean, I used to be a band rat. Exit In is where I lived. If anyone's watching in Nashville, R.I.P., we miss you so much.
Was it City Hall?
City Hall.
What was it called? City. Yeah, I think it was called City Hall.
Rocket City?
No, it was right around the corner from Exit, and I think in the Gulch. It used to be right there. Now it's a clothing store. It was right there by what's those restaurants right there? Sambuca?
Yeah.
Right there in that little strip. On the right side of it was City. I thought it was called City Hall or City something, and it was like just a flat place, and I've saw great concerts there.
Oh,
and they were one of the ones I saw right there.
Yeah. Possum
awesome.
Kingdom, all this just crazy stuff. Fake pour out to all the dead music venues in Nashville. We are Music City. Why are we closing our venues? I don't know.
Because they were worth too much money.
Yes.
And they weren't
real
making enough
estate's
off the concerts. But I went to
crazy
see another great band of mine. It's gonna kill me. I can't. I was just thinking about it earlier. It's killing me. It's one of my favorite concerts of all time too because I saw them so close. Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth.
I saw them at City Hall, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I love the small venues.
Yeah.
They're so personal.
It was
the band Kitty. She spit on me, lead singer, straight on me, and I was like, I don't even mind this. This is great. Thank you.
I felt like that at the Nirvana show. Can you throw that away for me?
I sure can. Nope. Almost didn't.
Well, you have to make it when you throw it.
We're going to pause real quick for a moment for
fine,
our
you can
sponsors. Well, I'm going to go potty real quick.
Oh, so you're going to go to the bathroom.
You're
I'm
going
going
to
to talk by myself.
Yeah, and keep all of this great content.
Or we can. Do you know how long we've been talking?
How long?
Take a wild guess.
I'd say maybe 25 minutes.
55 minutes.
55 minutes. What? 55 minutes? It doesn't even feel like 55 minutes.
I know.
No.
So I think we should actually stop.
We can wrap this up at this moment.
I think we might need to because it's tough to go over an hour when
it's a lot, we're putting a lot on them.
we don't want them to be we don't want to lose followers because we're just rambling too long.
No. Okay, Okay.
Even if I'm going to grab a beer out and put it in my Violent Femme koozie.
And I'm going to drink from my Kung Fu Saloon koozie. But this has been a lot of fun. So hopefully we can revisit.
All right, so the problem is we didn't get much of the Pixies today.
No.
But I knew that was going to happen because we weren't, this, again, first timers. And she was like, what do we do? And so I just gave her, I was like, just pick two albums. I don't care. Let's just pick 2 albums and see where it goes.
I picked a
because
collection.
like you saw, we just roll, and I was prepared for rolling. And I'm all cool with that.
We roll with it.
So we do have to get back to the Pixies, but that's okay. We will get back to that, and we have plenty more to talk about next time, and let's see where it goes from here.
Let's see.
If you can do this again. I mean, it's a matter of whether Liz enjoyed herself tonight and wants to do this again.
I have to see the footage. We'll see how much I enjoyed myself when I go, oh my God. No, it was fun. I would totally come back.
Okay.
Like, I would sit here and ramble on about bands for an hour.
So tune in next time for the next song review, album review, music review in every way, shape, or form, or we'll just ramble about other things that have nothing to do with music.
Basically rambling. Tune back next week for a lot of rambling.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everybody, you have a great night.
Have a good night.
Hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time.
We'll be here. Maybe.
Bye.